Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to another first grade virtual summer video lesson with Mrs. Maldonado. We have another theme for this week, and that theme is reptiles and amphibians. That is the title of this book, and that is by Cynthia O'Brien. And we have our table of contents here. And for this lesson, we are going to focus on chapter 1. What is a reptile? And that will be starting on page 2. So chapter 1, what is a reptile? How is a snake like a turtle? How is an alligator like a lizard? They're all reptiles. Okay, this is a Aldabra giant tortoise, and this is a coral snake. Okay, and then we have our bold words that stand out, boys and girls, and that's another one of our text features. Okay, and that word is reptiles. And reptile is a cold-blooded animal with dry, scaly skin. So if we look at the tortoise here, we can see that its legs and its neck have these scales just similar to the one of the coral snake. They resemble the scales. Crocodiles and tuatara lizards are reptiles too. Excuse me, these scaly animals might look slimy. In fact, their skin is dry. So this is a Nile crocodile. It says most reptiles have scales. Most lay eggs too. All reptiles breathe air like you. Many reptiles have 4 legs. Which reptiles have no legs at all? Okay, so here are labels of a bearded dragon. So this one is pointing to its mouth, and this one is pointing to its eye, and this label is pointing to its head. This label is pointing to its leg, and this label is pointing to scales, and this one is pointing to a tail. So we know that these are all parts of a reptile. And now let's go back to the question, which reptiles have no legs at all? So we have a tortoise here, we have a crocodile, we have a snake, and we have a bearded dragon. From those reptiles that we see here, which one does not have any legs at all? So we know that it's the coral snake, right? We know that it slithers. It does not have any legs. Okay, let's go back one page. Okay, baby reptiles. Most reptiles lay eggs. This is part of the reptile life cycle. The eggs protect the babies inside. Most reptiles lay their eggs in a nest or hole. Many reptiles, like snakes and lizards, leave. The eggs hatch on their own. Okay, so we have our smart word, which is the word that is standing out in bold print, and that is life cycle. And that is a series of changes that happen over the life of an animal or plant. So here is a alligator life cycle. So it starts off, okay, so as an egg, right? These are alligator eggs. Then the alligator hatches. So it's a baby alligator. Then it's an adult alligator. Then it happens again. It lays eggs. Then it hatches. And then it grows to an adult. And then it keeps going. Okay, so that is the alligator life cycle. Okay, crocodiles and alligators are different. They guard their eggs day and night. Baby Nile crocodile hatching. So this is a baby crocodile hatchling, and this is a baby alligator. It says that crocodiles and alligators are different. Okay, they kind of look similar, boys and girls, but they are different. So here is the baby one. Baby alligator, and here is the baby crocodile. Mother alligators stay with their babies. They help them find food. Babies leave their mothers when they are 2 or 3 years old. Mother crocodile carrying 2 hatchlings on her head. So this is the mother crocodile's head. And here is one baby crocodile. And here is another baby crocodile. So the crocodiles are on top of the mother's head. And they stay with her, it says, until they are 2 or 3 years old. So if it would be maybe like a toddler type, if we were talking like comparing to humans, okay, 2 or 3 years old. All right, let's go to our next page. Armed for action. Like fish, many reptiles have scales. Scales protect the skin and keep reptiles from getting hurt. Scales keep the skin from getting dry. This helps reptiles live in hot places like the desert. Okay, so our word in bold standing out is scales. And scales are small, thin plates that cover the body of a fish or a reptile. Remember the book that we read last week was about fish, and we learned about scales. So reptiles also have scales. Okay, and we see a photograph here of a green tree python. And if we look closely, we can see the scales, and they do resemble the scales of a fish, kind of like the same pattern. Turtles and tortoises have hard shells. These are made of scales and bone. Okay, this is a sea turtle, and we see the shell of a sea turtle. And what it's telling us is that they have hard shells, but they are made of scales and bone. Okay, so we can see a similar pattern like to the scales. Okay, sometimes reptiles shed their scales. Then they grow new scales. A snake sheds all of its scales at the same time. Wow, that is pretty interesting. This is a photograph of a grass snake shedding its scales. And we can see it's kind of like coming out of its scales. And we can see how cool it is underneath. It's got new scales. So it's going to shed from its old scales all at once, kind of like changing clothes. Okay, so now we're going to use smart words. Okay, we're going to draw a turtle, a green sea turtle, and we are going to draw a snake. And this is an eastern coral snake. Okay, we are going to be learning. We have a directed drawing on how to draw a turtle. So we'll do that in a little bit. It says, now compare them. Which reptile has legs? So we see a sea turtle here, and then we see a coral snake here. Which reptile has legs? Well, we know that the reptile that has legs is the green sea turtle. That is the reptile with legs. Which one has a tail? Well, we see the tail of the eastern coral snake. Eastern coral snake. Okay. Now it says name 3 features that they have in common. Well, what do they have in common, boys and girls? Well, we know that they both have scales. Okay. They both have scales. And what else? What do they both have? What else could we say that they both have? They have scales. And could we say that they are both reptiles? Okay, they are both reptiles. Okay. What other feature do they both have? They have scales. They are both reptiles. And we could say that perhaps they are cold-blooded. Okay. And we could say that they also lay eggs. Okay. Now we're going to fill in each blank using one of these smart words. We have eggs, we have life cycle, we have lizard, reptile, and scales. A snake is a what? A snake is a reptile. Okay, so we're going to cross that word out. A blank is a reptile too. And a egg, a life cycle, a lizard, or a scale. Which would make better sense? A lizard. Okay, so we'll write in lizard. All reptiles have what? All reptiles have scales. Okay, reptiles lay what? Eggs or life cycle? Eggs. Okay, this is part of a reptile's what? Okay, we had eggs, so the only word that we have left over is life cycle. So we're going to write in life cycle. Okay, and here, boys and girls, we have a royal python snake. It's a really cool snake. Look at its patterns. Okay, now we have a Madagascar tree boa scales. A photograph of a Madagascar tree boa scales. It kind of looks like they have different colors of scales. Kind of reminds me of the rainbow fish scales. Okay, boys and girls, so now we are going to talk like a scientist. A reptile's scales protect its body. What protects your body? So what protects our body, boys and girls? What do we have all over our body that protect us? What is that called? We have skin, right? So humans have skin and the reptiles have scales. Okay, so now we are going to draw a turtle. So see if you can find a piece of paper and a pencil, a crayon, or whatever it is that you might have to write with. Okay, and let's get started with our turtle drawing. Okay, boys and girls, so now I have a video here from Draw Easy that they are going to teach us how to draw a sea turtle. Okay, and this is a directed drawing, so they're going to show us step by step on how to draw a sea turtle. Okay, so get your pencils and your papers ready. Okay, boys and girls, so that is our drawing of a sea turtle. Now, as we are drawing, as the video is rolling, if you think that it's going a little bit too fast for you, you can pause the video. Okay, you can pause the video and until you draw what he has already drawn for us, and then you can keep on going. So you can keep the video little by little. And once you are done, boys and girls, drawing your sea turtle, don't forget to color it in. Okay, remember what color the sea turtles were? Okay, so let me see if I can show you a picture of the sea turtles. Okay, I have a picture here. Okay, so we have a picture here, and look at its shell. We see some brown, and the sea turtles also, I don't see it that much on this one, boys and girls, but they also have like a hint of green. So you can use brown and green colors to color in your sea turtle. Okay, so make sure that it has nice coloring, and if you would like, you can also draw the sea turtle's habitat. The sea turtle, remember it goes, it usually lives in the water, but it comes out to the sand as well. Okay, so you can draw its habitat. Maybe you can draw some sand. You can draw the ocean here in the background, just like this sea turtle. So you can do that as well. And you already know the color of the water and the sand, so you can have the environment of the natural habitat of the sea turtle. All right, boys and girls, so that is all that I have. And if you would like to draw another reptile, feel welcome and do so. Okay, we learned about different reptiles today. We learned about lizards. We learned about snakes. We learned about tortoises. Okay, we learned about the bearded dragons. Those were all reptiles that we read about today. Okay, boys and girls, so I hope that you enjoyed this video. And remember, this is chapter 1. Okay, so we will have chapter 2, chapter 3, and chapter 4. We're going to take we're going to take the book by chapters, so that way the videos aren't as long. But I want you to also have fun, boys and girls, and learn about all of these reptiles. And we will also, in this title, in this book, because our title is Reptiles and Amphibians, so we will also be learning about amphibians. So today we learned about reptiles, and amphibians we will be learning in the next coming chapters. All right, boys and girls, I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you next time.